Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica, known as Data Geek, and in today's video I am super excited because we are going to do something powerful. We are going to connect Excel to PostgreSQL using Python. If you've ever had a large spreadsheet of data and ever wondered how am I going to get this into my database without having to do this manually, well, this video is for you because I am going to walk you through step by step. No matter your experience level, even beginners can follow along confidently. We will read the Excel files, we will connect to PostgreSQL, and we will insert the data all like a pro by using Python code. So make sure to stick around to the end because we want to make sure to test it and verify that it actually works. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, grab your cup of coffee, and let's jump right in. All right, so here I am in my Excel file because I wanted to show you my Excel file first before doing anything. So as you can see, I have customer ID, item, date underscore time, quantity, and price. So this is a bakery data set. As you can see, the items under column B have bread, hot chocolate, cookies. So this is our sales data set. We want to insert this into PostgreSQL. So the first thing you must do manually is you have to create your database. Only the database alone in pgAdmin. You don't have to create the tables. So I'm going to go into my pgAdmin, and if you want to know how to download pgAdmin for free, I'll put that link in the description below. That will give you a video on a step-by-step on how to download pgAdmin. So as you can see here, I have a database 1. So I'm going to right click on database and create database. I'm going to call this bakery. So whatever you call your database, make sure to note that because you're going to need this when you start coding with your Python code. Bakery is my dataset name and save. So now under my databases, I have 2. Now you can see my database bakery. And now if I scroll down to schemas, this is where my tables will be. So if I expand that and look at my tables, and expand tables, there's nothing there because I have not created any tables at all. So if you already have a database, you don't need to do this part as long as you have the database and the table names to match your Excel file. But for this tutorial, we're just creating the database, and then in Python, we're going to create the tables. So once I create my tables, I don't have to do it again. So now going to Jupyter Notebook, how to connect Excel to PostgreSQL using Python. And it's going to be in 6 easy steps. We're going to import libraries, load the Excel data, connect to PostgreSQL database, and create a table in PostgreSQL. We only run this one time because this is only to create the tables itself. If you already have a database and tables set up in PostgreSQL, you do not have to do step 4. Then we will prepare and insert the data. Then we will close the connection. So going to step 1, I'm going to add a cell here. We will import our pandas as PD and then import, this is the way I remember it, psychopg2. So these are the libraries you will need. So I will run this code by simply hitting this run button, or you can do a control enter if you're on Windows. So it gave me a number here, so it ran successfully. Next, we will load the Excel file. So again, this Excel file here is what we're going to load. So my Excel file name is bakery data. But before going to step 2, you need to make sure it's actually imported in your Jupyter Notebook if you're using Jupyter Notebook like I am. So if I go to my home page of Jupyter Notebook, I don't have it here. So in this step, I'm going to show you how to download it. You just go to your home page of Jupyter Notebook where you have all of your files. Then on your right side, you click Upload. Then you go to your file locations. In this case, I dropped it in my downloads. So I will go ahead and click on bakery_data. So this is my file. Also making sure it's an Excel file and click Open. If you're not sure how to identify it as an Excel file, if you scroll down here and go to the little green windows, here it says bakery_data.xlsx. So that is considered an Excel file. So make sure it doesn't read as something like this .csv file because we are pulling in an Excel file. Going back to our code now that we have that there, making sure we use this same exact name to pull in this data. So we will go ahead and add a cell here. And the first thing you want to do is type in Excel underscore file equals single quotation and your Excel file name. So mine is bakery underscore data dot xlsx because it was an Excel file. So replace this with your Excel file name. Next, we're going to go df, short for data frame, equals pd.read underscore Excel, open parentheses, and now we're going to do an Excel underscore file and close parentheses. So this is the line of code you need for it to read your data set. So if I run this, it ran successfully. But I'm going to go back in that same cell and I'm going to enter some more code because I want to see the data set, at least the head of it. So df.head, open and close parentheses, and I will run this. And now I can see my head of my data set. So you can see my item, customer ID, item, date, time, quantity, and price. So it's just the same as my data set here. As you can see, customer ID, item, so it's reading it correctly. So we want to go ahead and connect to PostgreSQL database. So we could upload this in there. So now I'm going to run. Now I will add another cell to step 3. And in this step, you should have your PostgreSQL admin installed. So you should know your host. It's usually called localhost. Also a database name. So in this case, we called it bakery. And then you need to know your user ID like Postgres. And then you need to know your password because this is connecting to your PostgreSQL. So it needs all of this information for it to connect successfully. As you can see here, it says bakery. So that's our database name. So now that we have everything, we're going to go ahead and connect to PostgreSQL. First thing is type in CONN. This is short for connect. And then my favorite word, psychopg2. So PSYCOPG2 dot connect, open parentheses. Then again, this is where you're going to need your host name. So host equals single quotation local host, single quotation. Then make sure you put a comma. Next is your database equals single quotation bakery. That's our database, single quotation, comma. So you will replace this database name with your database name. Next, your username. So it's user equals, and then it's usually Postgres, single quotation, comma, and then your password. Then a close parentheses, and then cursor equals connect.sursor, open and close parentheses. So now you're going to be able to run this to connect to your PostgreSQL. So again, you need your host, your database name, your username, and your password. And once you have all your information in here, you can go ahead and run your code. And let's go to step number 4, where we're going to go ahead and create a table in PostgreSQL. So again, if you already have your tables in PostgreSQL, you do not need to do this part. But if you've only created your database like I have, then you can go ahead and continue with this step. But you only do it one time. So make sure to run this once because you don't want to keep on creating tables or duplicate tables because this step is only to create your table names. So again, we went into Postgres. Your database has no tables. So once we insert these tables, they should be visible for you to see. So the first thing is create underscore table underscore query equals, and then you need single quotations 3 times, 1, 2, 3. Now you're opening up your SQL commands with upper text, create table if not exists. And we want to go ahead and create a table called sales. That's what our data is about, bakery sales. So I will call it sales, open parentheses. Now I created this table. Now I want to create my column names. So in my column names, I go back to my Excel sheet. I have customer ID, item, date, time, quantity, and price. So there's only 5 columns there. I already have these typed up, so I'm going to go ahead and do a copy and paste. But if you're creating your columns, make sure to have them exactly as they are in your Excel file. They need to match with the spelling. If they rather have an underscore or a space, you have to do it exactly as it is in your data sheet. So I have customer underscore ID, which I can go ahead and show you. Customer underscore ID. I have items, date, time, quantity, and price. Then you can see that I have integer because I'm saying my customer ID is an integer. My item is a text because again, you see your items is text because it's verifying if it's bread, hot chocolate, cookies. And then the date time is a timestamp. So we have timestamp here. And then quantity is an integer. So it's numbers. And then the price is numeric. So that's numeric. We opened these quotation marks here. So now we close them. 1, 2, 3. And then we go cursor dot execute, open parentheses. And then we do a create underscore table underscore query parentheses. Our next CONN dot COMMIT, open and close parentheses. All right, so now we could go ahead and run this code. And it ran successfully because it gave me a number and no errors. So step number 5, we're going to prepare and insert the data. So let's go back to pgAdmin. So now we're going to go ahead and close this, but I'm going to right click on database and hit refresh. Now I will open up the databases. There's bakery. So if I open up that bakery, that's the bakery database we created from the beginning. But we had no tables or columns. So if I open up schemas, you will see now that there are tables. And it's a sales table, which we created in Python. And here are our columns: customer ID, item, date, time, quantity, and price. So now we have our table. But think of it like this. It's an Excel sheet right now in your pgAdmin, but with no data. So right now it's just showing your table name, which is sales, and your column names, but no data. So now we're doing this step here. We're going to insert all of this data in there. So preparing and inserting the data, we'll add a cell here. So this step, we're going to go ahead and do df, open bracket, double quotation, and we're going to say date underscore time, double quotation, close that bracket. So what this is it's pulling in this date time column. And what we're going to do with this is we want to convert the date time column in your Excel data from plain text to a string format into a proper date and time format using pandas. So this way Python reads it correctly. And just to say why it's important, when you load the data from Excel, pandas usually reads all columns as text by default, even the dates and times. But for analysis, sorting, filtering by date, or storing into a SQL database correctly, you need the date in the right format. So that's why we are doing this step. So it's pd.to underscore date time, open parentheses, df, open bracket, double quotation, date underscore time, double quotation, close that bracket and close that parentheses. So that's the line of code I'm talking about. We're changing this date time in our data set to a date time format in pandas using Python. All right, so next we will convert data frame to a list of tuples. To do that, we go data underscore tuples equals list, open parentheses, df dot iter tuples, tuples, open parentheses, and then index equals false, comma, name equals none, and then close both parentheses. So just to give you a little breakthrough, what this does, it converts each row in your Excel table, which is your data frame, into a Python tuple, like a mini list. So you can easily insert that data into your SQL table. And why is it important? Most databases, like PostgreSQL, they like to expect data in the form of tuples. This line transforms your spreadsheet-like data into a format PostgreSQL understands. So next we will go ahead and define the insert query. So insert underscore query equals, and then your 3 double quotations to open up your SQL commands. So again, it's going to be uppercase insert into lowercase sales. That's your database name. So make sure to replace that name with your database name. Open parentheses. And then we want to go ahead and put our column names. You already have that, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that in here. So customer ID, item, date, time, quantity, and price. Close that parentheses. Next, I'll put values. Open parentheses. Next, we will go ahead and do a placeholder, which are these little percentages and an S, comma, and you have to do it 5 times. So we're going to go ahead and go, there's 1 time, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason why we do it 5 times is because we have 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So you will put a percentage and along with an S for every single column you have. So if you have 15 columns, you need 15 of these symbols. And if you're asking what these are basically placeholders used in the SQL query to safely insert values into your PostgreSQL database. So this basically tells Python, I'll give you 5 values, just plug them in here when you run the query. Why use the little percentage with S's instead of putting the values directly? Well, using this makes your query safe from SQL injection attacks. It also helps with flexibility for multiple inserts, and it's compatible with PostgreSQL and CyclePG. And next we will close these 3 double quotations. So 1, 2, 3, and then we will go ahead and put a note here. I'm going to go execute the query with cursor dot execute many, open parentheses, and then insert underscore query, comma, data underscore tuples, TUPLES, close parentheses, and then the last line of code for step 5, CONN.COMMIT, open and close parentheses, connect.commit. So we run this and it ran successfully. So let's check it out. Let's go into pgAdmin. So again, we had our columns. We went ahead and so if I go back to sales, which I haven't refreshed yet. So if I go here and click on sales and go to query tool, and let's see what happens here. So if I go to select all from my table name, which is sales, and run this query, I now have all of my data in my table. So I didn't even have to refresh it. But if you do not see any data in here, make sure to right click and hit refresh on your data set or your tables. But I didn't have to, so it's showing select all sales table, and now we have our customer ID, our item, date, time, quantity, and price. So this is the coolest thing ever. You do not have to do it manually. You can just do it all with Python code. Now lastly, step 6 for good practice is to close your database connection when you're done. So, and to do that, you do cursor dot close, open and close parentheses, CONN, short for connect, and close, open and close parentheses, and run this. So we are now closing our connection. And that is it. You did it. You connected your Excel sheet to PostgreSQL using Python, and you inserted the real data with 6 easy steps. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below if you have any questions and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you on the next video.